IELTS Speaking Part 1. Snacks. Question 1. What snacks do you like to eat? Model answer. Band 6 answer. I like to eat chips and chocolate. They are tasty and easy to buy. Band 7 answer. I like snacks like chips and chocolate because they're tasty and easy to buy. I usually eat them when I watch TV or study. Band 8 answer. I enjoy snacks like chips and chocolate because they're both convenient and satisfying. I tend to reach for them when I'm watching something or when I want a quick energy boost while studying. Question 2. Did you often eat snacks when you were young? Model answer. Band 6 answer. Yes, I ate snacks a lot when I was young. I liked cookies and candies. Band 7 answer. Yes, I used to eat snacks often when I was a child, especially cookies and candies. My parents would sometimes buy them for me after school. Band 8 answer. Yes, I snacked quite a lot during my childhood, mostly on cookies and candies. My parents would occasionally reward me with treats after school, which made snack time something I always looked forward to. Question 3. Do you think it is healthy for you to eat snacks? Model answer. Band 6 answer. No, I don't think snacks are healthy. They have too much sugar or salt. Band 7 answer. I don't think most snacks are healthy because they often contain too much sugar or salt. Eating them too much can be bad for our health. Band 8 answer. Generally, I don't think snacks are very healthy, especially processed ones that are high in sugar, salt, or fat. Eating them occasionally is fine, but regular snacking can lead to health issues like weight gain or poor nutrition. Question 4. When do you usually eat snacks now? Model answer. Band 6 answer. I eat snacks in the afternoon or when I watch movies. Band 7 answer. These days, I usually eat snacks in the afternoon, especially when I feel tired. I also have some when I watch movies at night. Band 8 answer. Nowadays, I usually snack in the late afternoon, especially if I need a break from work or studying. I also tend to snack during movie nights or when spending time with friends, though I try to keep it in moderation. IELTS Speaking Part 2. Not allowed to use mobile phone. Describe a time when you couldn't use your mobile phone. You should say where it was, what you were doing at this time, when it was, and explain why you were not able to use your mobile phone. You have 1 minute to prepare. You have 2 minutes to talk. Model answer. Band 6 answer. A time I couldn't use my phone was during a school exam. It was last year, in my final high school year. The exam was for math, and it was very important. We had to leave our bags and phones at the back of the classroom. The teacher told us that if we used our phones, we would fail the test. So, I couldn't use my phone for about 2 hours. At first, I felt a little nervous because I always check my phone for time. I also wanted to use the calculator, but we were told to use the one the school gave us. After the test, I was happy to use my phone again. It felt strange not to have it with me. That was the time I couldn't use my phone. Band 7 answer. One time when I wasn't allowed to use my phone was during my final math exam in high school, which took place last year. It was held in a large classroom, and before the exam started, the teacher told us to put our phones into a box at the front of the room. The rule was very clear: if anyone used their phone, they would automatically fail. I was a bit uncomfortable at first, because I usually use my phone to check the time or even calm myself down before a stressful situation. Also, I was used to doing quick calculations on my phone, but this time, we had to use a traditional calculator provided by the school. The exam lasted for 2 hours, and even though I was nervous in the beginning, I got used to not having my phone. After the exam, when I turned my phone back on, I had several missed messages from my friends. That made me realize how much I depend on my phone in everyday life. Band 8 answer. A time when I couldn't use my mobile phone was during my final high school math exam, which took place about a year ago. The exam was held in the school auditorium, where all the students sat in rows, and before it started, the teacher asked everyone to switch off their phones and put them in a box at the front of the room. The rule was strict: anyone caught using a phone would automatically fail. I remember feeling slightly uneasy at first, not because I wanted to cheat, but because I'm so used to checking the time on my phone or having it near me just for comfort. I even reached for my pocket a few times during the exam out of habit, only to realize it wasn't there. We were only allowed to use a basic school-provided calculator, which felt a bit outdated, but I managed. The exam lasted for around 2 hours, and although I was focused on solving the problems, I couldn't help but feel a little disconnected. After the test, I checked my phone and saw that I'd missed a few messages from friends. That moment made me more aware of how dependent I'd become on my phone, not just for communication, but even emotionally. It was an eye-opening experience, and I think it's good to take a break from technology sometimes. IELTS Speaking Part 3. Not allowed to use mobile phone. Question 1. Do you think there should be regulations on the use of mobile phones? Model answer. Band 6 answer. Yes, I think there should be rules. People use phones too much and sometimes it's not polite. For example, using phones at the dinner table or in class. So maybe there should be some rules to stop that. Band 7 answer. I do think some regulations are necessary. Nowadays, people often use mobile phones at inappropriate times, like in classrooms or during meetings, which can be very distracting. Simple rules, like turning off the phone in certain places, can help people focus better and respect others. I also think parents should control how long kids use their phones. Band 8 answer. Yes, I believe having certain regulations on mobile phone use is important, especially in public spaces. For example, using phones in theaters or classrooms can disturb others and reduce productivity. While I don't think phones should be completely banned, having guidelines, like setting phone-free zones or limiting screen time in educational settings, can encourage more mindful and respectful use. In the long run, these rules help create a healthier relationship with technology. Question 2. What do you think of primary school students owning a mobile phone? Model answer. Band 6 answer. I think it's too early. They are still young and maybe don't know how to use it well. Also, they can play games or look at bad things. I think parents should wait until they are older. Band 7 answer. I personally think primary school students are too young to have their own phones. They might get distracted easily or spend too much time playing games. Some kids also use phones to bully others online. But in some cases, like for safety, parents might want their children to have a phone. In that case, I think it should be a very basic phone with no internet. Band 8 answer. In my opinion, most primary school students are not mature enough to handle a smartphone responsibly. While there are safety benefits, like letting parents contact their kids easily, there are also risks, such as exposure to harmful content or addiction to games and social media. I think if parents feel it's necessary, they should provide a device with limited functions, like call-only phones, and set clear usage rules. Ideally, digital literacy education should come before full access to mobile devices. Question 3. What minimum age do you think is appropriate for owning a cell phone? Model answer. Band 6 answer. I think maybe 12 or 13 is okay. At that age, students go to junior high school, so they can use phones to contact family or friends. But not too young, like 6 or 7 years old. Band 7 answer. I believe the minimum age should be around 12 or 13, which is when students enter middle school. At that age, they start to become more independent and may need to travel alone. But I think the type of phone matters too. It should be basic, not a smartphone with full internet access. Band 8 answer. Personally, I think 12 to 13 years old is an appropriate age for owning a mobile phone, mainly because children begin to commute to school alone or stay out for longer periods. However, I believe access should be limited at first. Parents can start with a basic phone and gradually introduce more functions as the child shows responsibility. It's also important for schools and families to educate students on how to use phones safely and ethically. Question 4. Do you think mobile phones should be allowed in school classrooms? Model answer. Band 6 answer. No, I don't think so. Students will look at their phones and not study. They can play games or talk to friends. It's bad for learning. Band 7 answer. I don't think mobile phones should be used in classrooms because they are distracting. Students might text or check social media instead of paying attention to the teacher. But maybe they can be used in some lessons, like using apps to study, if the teacher controls it. Band 8 answer. While mobile phones can be useful tools for learning, I don't think they should be freely allowed in classrooms. They can easily become distractions. Students might message each other or browse unrelated content. However, under teacher supervision and with clear guidelines, phones can be used in educational ways, such as research or using learning apps. The key is to find a balance between usefulness and discipline.
Congrats on making it to the end of this video, and kudos to you if you did all that practice. You are amazing. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. And you can also add my official LINE account that's in the profile. And if you do this, then I can send you a free phrases guide that you can use for your practice. All right, happy studying. See ya.